Welcome, this is Matt from Jaggers Brewing Co. Today's project, Pre-Prohibition Porter. Green to glass. So today's project, Pre-Prohibition Porter, this is one that I've been super excited about, one to brew and then two to present. This was a pretty fun brew day. I got to kind of stretch some recipe building and stretch some ideas and creativity in this one. This is a historical style. There's not really any out there commercially that I know of. Maybe somebody makes one and it's relatively available. I've never seen one on a shelf, so I kind of had to dig through, of course, the style guidelines and run some stuff past some friends. I let a few people see the recipe before I brewed it. Everybody said that they really liked what I was doing with it, and to basically see what happens. So I brewed this thing up. I entered it into a few competitions. I'm waiting for the results to come back. One of the key elements that I believed in this thing was the water profile probably needed to be just right. And I'll have the complete recipe and the water profile and all that in the description. But so I focused a lot on the water profile and the addition of the molasses in it. Now the style apparently has a pretty wide range of time frame through the American history aspect, and looked like it was pretty relevant from the colonial days all the way up to pretty much Prohibition. So there's the historian in me that found the style interesting, and then just looking at the descriptions of the taste profile and everything in the style guidelines, it looked pretty interesting to me there too. Now I've brewed quite a few stouts for here at the house. I've never really turned one into competition or anything like that, but all my friends seem to like my stouts, and so this is the first porter that I've ever brewed. And I know that there's a little bit of a thin line sometimes between the porter and a stout and whatnot, but I found it interesting. I have yet to taste one besides bottling day, so this is going to be pretty interesting to see what I can pull from it. Just real quick, the basics on this beer. The starting gravity was 1.056. The finishing gravity was 1.006 for an ABV of 6.56%. The boil additions, the high notes here are, I added the molasses at the 60-minute mark for boiling, and then I added cluster at 60 minutes for the hop addition. It was the only hop addition, and it was for 25.1 IBUs. This is the first time that I used the Californian L strain. This was the White Labs WLP001 strain. This thing had a very active fermentation. Is pretty much the only note that I have as far as the fermentation went. I had to change out the airlock like 3 times. It kept pushing out of the airlock and kind of clogging that up, so I spent a couple days doing that. In retrospect, I should have probably done the blow-off tube into a sanitized jar. I've done that a few times before. It didn't really seem to be that necessary at the very beginning, but kind of towards the middle of the first couple days of its fermenting, I really contemplated doing it, but I just decided just to switch out the airlock. So everything seemed to come out all right on it. Let's take a look at this thing. Pretty good hiss there. So looks like it's got a pretty good color on it, fairly thin head. We'll put this on a beer cam here. Looks like it's got some carbonation to it. I kind of think that I should have done better on the carbonation, maybe upped it a little bit. Looking at it, maybe I should go back and look at the recipe, maybe add some stuff for some head retention. It's pretty much faded out, it's fairly thin. Going in for the aroma, it smells wonderful. I can pick up a little bit on that molasses still, so that's pretty good. It kind of almost has this like a soda smell to it. You know, not quite like Coca-Cola or anything like that, but it does seem to have a little bit of like a Coke type smell. This is pretty good. I like this a lot. It seems to be maybe a little on the thin side, so maybe we need some more recipe development on this. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges come up with. Maybe I need to run this recipe by a few more people and reevaluate where I am on this thing. It's don't really pick up a lot on the porter side of things too much. I taste the sweetness from the molasses, a little bit of creaminess, probably from the ale yeast. It's pretty good. I like it. It's just like I said. I feel like it's a little thin to be a porter. Maybe it's a little closer to something like a brown ale or something like that. I do get a little bit of the kind of roastiness on the back end. A little bit of toastiness. I don't think that this is quite the style. I don't think that I need to really brew this particular recipe again. I just need to add some things or subtract some things. This one definitely needs some adjusting. Let's put this on beer cam while we talk about some stuff. So the sad news is this was supposed to be the St. Patrick's Day video. Unfortunately, the beer that I had planned was a rye Irish stout. It caught an infection, and so I went ahead and dumped it. Normally I would have let it see what happened and then go from there. The rye Irish stout video will be out just after this one at some point in time, fairly close. So unfortunately, this is gonna be basically the St. Patrick's Day video until that one releases. Closing thoughts, like I said, I definitely need to do some readjusting on this recipe. And I need to get some other people involved to take a look and kind of see what happened. It's not bad. There's definitely room for improvement. And we'll just go from there with some of the judges critiquing it and just see what happens. I'm interested to see what everybody else thinks and says about it. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you later.